know one thing. Glad January and got the hell on somewhere. Cause what the hell was that? Welcome back to my channel. Hey, happy Black History Month to everybody Black, especially the 92%. I can't speak for everybody, but over here, January was way too much and nothing at the same daggone time. But regardless, before we deep dive into February's lineup, I have to recap my top 5 favorite fragrances for the month of January. Needless to say, before we get into those top 5 favorite fragrances, make sure that you are subscribed and make sure you hit that notification bell, boo, so you don't miss when I upload another video. After subscribing and turning those post notifications to all, make sure you give this video a big fat thumbs up because it's free. It really helps support the channel and it helps us to grow. And last but not least, never forget, if you are interested in any of the fragrances mentioned in today's video, to make sure you shop via any available links and or discount codes down below in the description box because it really helps me out and you go buy it anyway. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, before we deep dive into my favorites, let me share my lippy just in case anyone is curious. Of course, I'll make sure I have it linked and tagged down below in the description box for anyone interested, but I'm just wearing MAC's Smoke Purple today. This is a classic. Okay, I don't care what nobody say, MAC lippies never miss. As far as my scent of the day, I actually haven't applied it yet because I was waiting to smell this decant with you all. This is the new Angel Share Paradis or Paradise from Kilian. I got a decant in yesterday and I waited to smell this with you all. So let's go ahead and see what it's hitting for. First spray. Ooh, with my eye. Wait a minute now, Kilian. I like this. There's something fruity there. I know that Angel Share is known for having apple or giving like an apple vibe, even though I don't think apple is listed in the notes. This has something fruity going on in it. When you first spray it, it's juicy, it's sweet, almost syrupy, if you will. And I smell like vanilla, tonka bean, of course that typical boozy DNA of Kilian's Angel Share. I wonder if there's something like barley or some type of moss or something like that in this, because there's something earthy that's kind of cutting through that booziness and the syrupy sweetness from the fruit. I think it's raspberry. Don't quote me though, don't quote me. But that's what it smells like if it's not raspberry. If not raspberry, definitely some type of berry. I even feel like the booziness in this is maybe more of a liqueur and not so much of a whiskey, brandy, cognac situation, if that makes any sense. Probably not, because I'm not a drinker, but this, while it seems it's in the Angel Share family, this seems different. I don't want to say it's lighter, but in a sense, it is kind of lighter than the original. It's not as heavy, at least not from a decant and not first spray. That smells kind of good, but of course, stand by for my fully formed thoughts in an upcoming video as I continue to spend time with this fragrance. Regardless, consider this a first impressions of sorts for today's scent of the day. I don't know why I'm showing you this, new Kilian Angel Share Paradis. And number 5 for the month of January is one that I've been test driving for a few months at this point, but I really went in this month. I actually mentioned this in my most recent weekly roundup. Of course, if you haven't seen that, I'll make sure I leave it linked up top. But number 5 for the month of January has to go to this decant that I'm test driving of Byredo's new Mojave Ghost Absolute. Number 5. And I won't be spraying this because I only have a little bit left and I don't want to waste it on a tester strip, respectfully. I hope y'all understand because I can smell it. You know what I'm saying? I can smell it from the decant. This is everything that I love about the original Mogo. Yes, we call it Mogo here because this is the Mojave Ghost Stand channel. But Mogo with a bit more, starts off bright, soapy, refreshing, light, fresh, airy, clean. I think it's some ambrette and some nesberry. So it gives you fruity, but in a different way. You have that floral touch from some violet, which also gives it a little bit of a powderiness, that woodiness, grounding everything, bringing everything together, adding a warmth, but not at all a weight. This is still light, airy, approachable, pleasant, and signature scent worthy, much like the original. Not at all a huge difference, but definitely a difference that to me warrants having the Absolute in my collection as well. The florals in this to me are more pronounced, more prominent. They are front and center to my nose. But I also feel like I'm getting a bit more warmth, if you will. Not to say that the original isn't warm, because it is a warm coziness to it, but this is just more intensified, more Absolute. I don't know. I love this. I've actually loved it from first sniff, but this month especially has just not been no crystal stare. And I have been reaching for this for bed. I've been reaching for this to wear to the office. I could just wear it without having to think too hard. One that I wouldn't have to worry about being offensive to people, because it's pleasant and it's approachable and it's pretty. But be clear, this is perfectly unisex, just like the original. Even with the more intensified florals, you could argue that this could lean, a bit more feminine than the original, but I feel like anybody can wear this because, yet again, we just smell clean and just cozy. I just can't get enough of this. And if you are a fan of the original Mojave Ghost, try this out and thank me later, okay? 10 out of 10 would highly recommend. Again, I don't know why I keep trying to show you the decant, but number 5 for the month of January has to go to Byredo's new Mojave Ghost Absolute. Moving on to number 4 for the month of January, I'll be honest in saying that this was actually in my December favorites as well. Of course, if you haven't seen it, I'll leave it linked up top. I had to go ahead and run this bag for January because it understands the assignment and it just makes me feel better when I don't. This is BDK's Passe Soir the Extrait. Again, no stranger to the channel. We've been talking about this nonstop. Once I finally upgraded that sample from that decant to this full-size bottle, okay? Because it was necessary. It was necessary, okay? If you are a fruity fragrance lover, come to the front. Passe Soir the Extrait. First of all, the atomizer is a 10 out of 10. But the fragrance is for a bougie fruity fragrance lover, okay? I have not seen, okay, thought I needed to do something. There's pear, there's quince, there's also some citrus, but even with this fruitiness, it's not bright, it's not dainty, it's not girly, it's not flirty. No, these are dark, grown, practically kind of jammy, syrupy, sweet type of fruits. So much so that this is not, a super feminine fragrance. Some may feel like this leans a little masculine, especially once we pull in that ginger and that pepper. Complex, okay? Layered. There's also some ambroxan, some patchouli, adding to how rich and dense this fragrance is. This is not for a wallflower, okay? This is not for someone that is timid and doesn't want to be noticed, because this projects and leaves an amazing scent trail. Ask me how I know. I'm waiting. Wore this to a girls' night out, went to dinner. And not only was I complimented by my girls, the wait staff was like, "Oh my God, you smell so good." I did. And I smell good and brick cold for the duration, okay? For the duration. You spray this on, it's not coming up, okay? It's just not. This is so sexy. Winter fruity goodness, okay? I would not pull this out during the summertime, but you grown. You do what you want. Maybe during date night, especially during the summertime, but again, do what you want. If you are familiar with climate change, then you know that the East Coast has been experiencing a polar vortex, and it has been especially cold. In fact, it's icing outside right now as I'm filming this video. But when I did go outside in that brick cold weather, Passe Soir Extrait understood the assignment, okay? This, in my opinion, to me, my nose, my skin, and my clothes, is a niche fragrance that is worth the hype, worth the fanfare, and worth the price tag. Especially if you are a fruity fragrance lover. And it don't take a lot. I'm going to have this bottle for all eternity. And I'm going to enjoy every single drop, okay? I don't have to douse myself in this in order for me or anyone else to enjoy it. And I love that for me, okay? I love that for me. 10 out of 10 would highly recommend. And again, this is number 4 for the month, BDK's Passe Soir the Extrait. This new angel share is wafting as I'm moving my arms. And that smells so good. What are we on? Number 3? Moving on to number 3 for the month of January. One may feel like this is not necessarily a polar vortex, winter weather worthy fragrance, but to me, this is just a fragrance that understands what needs to be done and does it, much like the 92%. This is Givenchy's, the original L'Entrée. And be clear, this is the EDP version. This was sent to me from Jackie, aka Jack's Beautiful You, here on YouTube. I'll make sure I have her channel linked. She decluttered this and just sent this on over, and I'm so glad she did. L'Entrée, if I'm not mistaken, was a fragrance that was exclusively created by Givenchy for Audrey Hepburn, and it definitely smells like an Audrey Hepburn fragrance. It's not going to be for everybody. It starts off really bright and spicy from some bergamot, giving a little citrus, but also some ginger, giving a little kick, a little spice, if you will. But the heart of this fragrance and what is most pronounced to my nose is the white florals. There's orange blossom and tuberose. And they are on steroids, okay? So if you are not a fan of white florals, definitely sit this one out, okay? They are potent and they are pronounced, okay? You also have a little bit of woodiness from some vetiver, grounding it, adding some warmth, some sex appeal, and making this last for all eternity is that patchouli. Y'all see my little dent, and when Jackie sent this over, this was practically at the top of the bottle. I wore this like 4 or 5 days straight this month, not only because it makes me feel like empowered and ultra feminine, but also because it makes me feel like I got my life together, even though I don't, okay? I just smell like a classy lady, even when I'm not necessarily giving that. You know, when I'm not necessarily feeling like it, I smell like it. As a certified member of the overspray community, this is not one that I have to overspray. A little bit of this goes a very long way. I don't have to spray my clothes. I don't have to douse my skin even. You are into just really sophisticated, mature, elegant, feminine, white floral fragrances. Highly recommend getting your nose on the original L'Entrée. There are a number of flankers of this fragrance, and I'm going to see about them. I absolutely will. But just know that the original EDP understands the assignment and gives what needs to be gave even in the wintertime. Absolutely love this. Another 10 out of 10. And number 3 again for the month of January is Givenchy's original L'Entrée. Moving on to number 2 for the month of January. We just talked about this one in my most recent fragrance haul. Of course, if you haven't seen that, I'll have it linked up top. But number 2 for the month of January has to go to HAVES Perfume Pastimes Love Letter. If I said that wrong, I'm very sorry. But another one that was just easy to reach for and made me feel good this month. This is another fruity fragrance, and the fruit specifically being guava. That guava is so juicy and just makes my mouth water every time I smell this. It just makes me thirsty. There's some citrus in this as well, making this even brighter, more refreshing, and making it even more juicy and mouth-watering. And some musk, which makes it smell really clean, rounds everything and brings everything together without weighing it down at the same time. It has enough weight to it to where it doesn't wear off after 2 minutes like a body splash. Not to say that there's anything wrong with body splash. There's a time and a place for them. Shout out again to Perfume Princess for putting us onto this affordable gem. This has just been an easy reach for me this month. One that I knew was going to make me feel good and smell good without having to think too hard, and it did just that. It was fruity, it was fun, flirty, and fresh. We love alliteration here. And I know the dent is telling my business. I'm not going to stop wearing this. I will absolutely be taking this into the spring and the summer. I'm going to continue wearing it this winter as well. The musk in this, in my opinion, makes this really perform and project on my skin. Not at all beast mode, but present and effective. And I just can't rave about this. $14.99. Yes, $15 gem from TJ Maxx. Again, number 2 for the month of January has to go to HAVES Perfume Pastimes Love Letter. Girl, That's a mouthful. As you can probably reasonably infer based on the lineup of fragrances that we've already discussed in today's favorites lineup, outside of Passe Soir the Extrait, the fragrances that I have had in constant rotation this month have been easy to reach for, wearable, fresh, clean, go-to fragrances, and number one for the month of January is no different. Number one for the month of January has to go to Guerlain's Mon Guerlain EDP, and I know you see the dent, okay? She is almost up out of here. This is so beautiful. It's fresh from lavender, but not a super medicinal masculine lavender. This is almost like a candied lavender is the best way I can describe it. At least that's how it translates to me, my nose, on my skin, and my clothes, okay? There's also jasmine, adding that feminine white floral touch, and vanilla, but not a cupcakey, gourmand type of vanilla. Just enough sweetness to round everything out and balance everything, and to make this the most feminine lavender that I have ever experienced. Another one that I didn't have to think about. This is pretty, it performs and it projects, but not in an obnoxious beast mode type of way. In case you don't remember, this was a blind buy for me, and I hesitated picking this up for so long because it's so well beloved. Y'all had to be lying, but come to find out, y'all wasn't. It's just so feminine and classy. I can dress this up, I can dress it down. This is what I call a signature scent worthy fragrance, okay? Absolutely no regrets about blind buying this fragrance. Y'all didn't lie about this one. Well, let me correct that. I do have one regret with this fragrance, and that was getting this one out. So why would I play myself like that? I should have got the Big Daddy, because I got this in what, like April of last year, and I maybe have another wear or two left. And the 2 is being gracious. This is an absolute 10 out of 10 fragrance. This is easy, but it's elegant, and it just makes me feel beautiful. And I really needed that this month with all that's going on in the world. But again, number one for the month of January has to go to Guerlain's original Mon Guerlain EDP. Well, folks, that about wraps up my top 5 favorite fragrances for the month of January. Make sure you sound off in the comments and let me know your top 5 favorite fragrances for the month. Let me know if you have tried any of these fragrances, and of course, if you are interested in trying them, make sure you shop via any available links or discount codes down below in the description box, because it really helps me out. After shopping the links and or discount codes to try or buy any of the fragrances that we talked about, and after leaving your comment on today's video on your way to watching another video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Y'all, this new angel shell smell good. Going through over here, okay? Going through. Y'all see my laptop? Okay, so I know I'm working from home. Listen, Miss Kilian. What is it? Let me look up these notes. I need to know. Cozy. Comfortable in my skin. Cozy with who I am. Comfortable in my skin. Cozy. Cozy. Comfortable in my skin. Beat up above your sins.